Hi, everyone. Welcome to Angels and Astrology Video Extra. I am Jacqueline Kuhn with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by angels. And today we're going to talk about Archangels Ariel and Uriel with Mercury moving into Aries. But before we do, I want to talk a little bit about the Archangels and who I am, so you can put some context around why the video is organized the way it is. I teach, coach, and guide people about 15 archangels, three, Michael, Raphael, and Haniel, which are superpowers and superheroes that stand on their own. And then the other archangels are tied to zodiac signs because the energy that the archangel provides and the gifts and support that they can provide really resonates well with the astrology. We have Aries, which is Ariel, all the way to Pisces, which is Sandalphon, and everyone in between. In my coaching practice, I help you connect to the archangels through the astrology as well as just through the general energy. And today we will talk about Archangel Ariel and Uriel. Ariel, obviously, she's the archangel for Aries. There's a natural fit, but Uriel is wisdom and illumination. And with Mercury and some of the communication aspects of Mercury and Aries, I'm bringing Uriel in because I think he can help in certain specific ways that Ariel does not help in. And that's what I do. I help you connect with the archangels based on the energy of the time so that you are navigating through even the most difficult of energies with ease, and think of them as a gift as opposed to an obstacle. It is a gift of opportunity, of learning, of really being able to understand yourself a little better, maybe go a little deeper, a better connection with God Creator. And that's what I'm all about. So right now we have really, really heavy Aries energy. We have the sun and the moon and Mercury and Mars and Saturn and Neptune, like all in Aries. It is really crazy. And as you know, or not, may not know, Aries energy is all about go get it, go getter energy. It is that energy of doing, right? Of action, of taking action. And I talked to a couple of people this week who just feel like they're just moving without any rest period. So you really want to make sure that you do take time for rest, particularly as we start rounding up Aries season over the next week. Just make sure you take time for yourself and for rest, because with all the planets, with Mercury being the last really moving in, Venus kind of jumped ahead and is already in Taurus, but all the others in Aries, it's just some real action-packed filled energy, and you might be getting, beginning to feel drained. And if so, it's really just make it okay for yourself to take a break. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's a cup of coffee, whether it's a walk, whether it's just, binge watching something on Netflix, whatever you need to clear your head during this high action energy of Aries. Now, Mercury, being the last of the closer planets to move into Aries, it's moving later than others, mainly because it did go retrograde, right? We came out of the retrograde, and now it's stationing direct and flew into Aries a day or two ago. When Mercury lands in Aries, the communication properties of Mercury and the action focus of Aries really changes the communication vibe to be fast, bold, direct, really direct. So you want to take advantage of this transit because now is the time for you to speak your truth, to speak up, to be direct with honesty, but compassion and wisdom. And that's why I brought Uriel in. While you want to be honest, and and forthright in your communications. You don't want to do it and cause damage, right? You don't want the bluntness of like a Scorpio influence to come through. So what does that mean? So Mercury, being speech, perception, mind, and then the fire sign of Aries is really a mental shift, right? And it's really one where, talk, speak first, think later, right? It's like act now, worry about refining it or qualifying it later. And that can get you into trouble, but it's also a really good opportunity for certain things. So if you're launching something new, if you're actually doing motivational speaking, if you've got any speaking engagements booked during Mercury and Aries, it's going to be an excellent time to get your message across, really an excellent time. People are going to be more willing to hear, and you will be, speaking more clearly and courageously and truthfully and be believed. So great time to do that. It's also, because it'll be clear and direct, you'll cut through confusion, right? There won't be confusion about what you are saying to others. So really great time for those kinds of things or pitching a sale. It's also a good time for initiation and leadership thinking. So the things that you should be thinking about now is what is the fastest path forward? What is the best way forward? Should you start? Can you start right now? If not, what's blocking you? What's holding you back? And what is your boldest move? Not what is the safest move? What is the boldest move right now? May not act on it, but it's that kind of 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 pushing your thinking to the edge to really think about what would that look like? It's not about what's the boldest and possible? It's what is the boldest move? And then can I start it right now? And is it practical to start right now? But really kind of stretching yourself mentally to think about that, how far can you go? And this is going to be kind of interesting because Aries rules the head, Mercury the throat, and the solar plexus. So with the throat, the head, and the solar plexus, you're gonna feel like your head is going in one direction, and your body may be going somewhere differently. So if you like bump into things, if you're a little clumsy, you may be walking a little more like forward posturing, but it's definitely going to be a different feel. Do watch for your health in the throat area right now. If you don't take it easy with all this Aries energy, this is probably a time where things like sore throats can actually rise up if you're not taking care of yourself, because Mercury is the throat and Aries is the head. So head colds, sore throats, if you don't take the time to make sure you spend enough time taking care of yourself, you know, and it's really the intersection, the fusion of your mind and your will, right? That your mind and your will allow you to speak and communicate from conviction and instinct. The instinct part is really important because you want to. Aries is action. It's not Pisces. Mercury and Pisces, you think through things, right? You sit back, you ponder it. With Aries, you instinctively act upon what you're thinking about, right? It's like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. Um, you know, you may not take any pause, which could be an issue, which is why we'll talk about Uriel in a little bit, but it's not a sit down, ruminate over it, and then take action. It's I thought about it, boom, I'm doing it kind of a thing. So if you work with people, if you live with people who seem to be going in all these different directions, you might want to also help to slow them down because, Mercury being the last planet in Aries, people are just sort of pushing forward at paces that probably they haven't worked at in quite a while, probably a year, when all the planets were in Aries last year at this time. Now, Archangel Ariel, she is the archangel for Aries. She is courage, she is confidence, she is leadership. And so, with regards to Mercury coming into Aries, she is your courageous voice of truth. To speak boldly, but not aggressively, right? Not hate language, just with confidence and boldly that you know what your truth is. To be heart-centered in your conversations, right? To understand that this is your truth and you feel through it and you want to do it compassionately, so heart-centered. To make sure that inspired actions come through and are acted upon, right? To channel those inspired actions and to help you, formulate them to take positive action on what is coming through, what inspirations are coming through intuitively. And above all, she's here to help you trust your instincts. If your instinct says something, you can check in with her and get a sign and get that go sign if you're a little hesitant. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a great time for public speaking. I know personally I'm going to be on 2 podcasts and in a summit during this Mercury in Aries energy. And in all honesty, didn't plan it. It happened that way. So the universe planned it for me, knowing that this was the energy at the time. It aligned it quite well for me. And so asking for her support while doing that so that you can be clear and confident and have no hesitation in doing those kinds of activities. That's what she's here for during this transit. And then Archangel Uriel, who is the archangel for Aquarius. However, I brought him in to this energy because he is wisdom and illumination. And so he harmonizes your mental speed and the Aries instinctive fire, right? So he kind of brings them together with a little light and wisdom so that you can see the path instantly, right? So you're inspired by Aries, you're inspired by Mercury, Aries is telling you to act, and you kind of go to Archangel Ariel, illuminate and make sure this is the right thing to do. Boom, yeah, it is. To help you with those intuitive downloads and really see them for what they mean and are. Because he is the book of wisdom, he holds the book of wisdom, ideas can turn into strategy. So as your mind starts thinking about ideas, he can help you actually turn them into strategies and action plans to move forward. And I would have to say the most important thing during this transition is the wisdom, so that you have wisdom before you speak, so that your communication is understood. So you can, ask Archangel Ariel for the confidence and courage to speak your truth, and Uriel for the wisdom, so that what you say and how you say it will be understood by those who are listening, so that you have wisdom and your audience has wisdom to really understand your communications. And to that end, I have an original prayer here for a joint prayer for Archangels Ariel and Uriel during this transit. I encourage you to take a page shot of this, pause, write it down, whatever you need to do to help you during the Mercury in Aries transit. Thank you for watching the video. I will be posting the access to a summit I will be speaking to on May 2nd, so that you have the opportunity to get a ticket to the summit. It is the Rewritten Summit, where myself and others who have rewritten their stories, who have pivoted, who have had, series of redirections in their life and career. And we will be sharing our stories and then how we use those same principles to help others as they work down their journeys. With that, be blessed, be safe, and I will be talking to you soon. Goodbye for now.